Well, hello, beautiful people. I'm back in my natural hair. But without further ado, my name is Brianna Clyburn. I am the founder and owner of Naturally Gifted Breeze Hair Care. I post these videos on Facebook Live. I've been starting now for about 3 or 4 weeks or so. But basically, I'm letting you guys know of my product formulations that I have been creating, as well as some of the products and services that I offer for my business, and will be hopefully getting out to you guys soon. So without further ado, I wanted to basically update you guys and let you all know exactly where I'm at. And with great news and really just a full circle that has come around, but I have received back word from my trademark registration from the USPTO, which is the United States Patent Trademark Office, and they have officially registered my trademark or in review for my trademark and review, and I do have a serial number. So that's good news. So if you do search my product, and my name will be released soon, you would know exactly, I am getting there officially. So that's great news. My goals in mind, which I have talked about in previous videos, nothing that have actually just totally just like honed in, but a lot of it have been started in processing. But I'm just not going to speak it before I speak it. I'm just going to let my work do the talking. And so some of those things I talked about was becoming marketable and in stores, officially partnering with a dermatologist, a local dermatologist, or whoever, not whoever, but someone that I know that'll be professionally, can help my clients professionally better off with their hair if they have more grander issues that sometimes hairstylists can't fix. That's one of my goals also. And then the last one of my goals was to complete my hair consultation guide, which I said I wanted to become available for anyone who is out there wanting to know more about their hair exactly, and what does that look like when you're going and moving into your natural hair journey, and what should that really relationship and response should be like whenever you go to your hairstylist. So great things in store. I am working hard and feeling accomplished. So I do have I'm not going to prolong this video because I've been doing some long videos, and my goal too is another one is to just get this up under like 10 minutes. Because when I start talking, I don't realize I can talk so much. But yeah, I can. Just doing it now, rambling. But I have a marketing ads from now on that I'm going to be posting instead of live videos. I feel like sometimes this can get overwhelming just to do. So I might just going to be moving to more marketing ads for my products, giving you guys some product updates when there's major changes that have taken place. And just also have, as I've been at the end of my videos, I've been doing a lot of questionnaire responses to posts that I have posted, and you all comment and give me feedback on it, and I just basically just thoroughly go through those responses. So I think I'm going to start debunking some myths about natural hair that people assume and think, and people slay around in the natural hair community that might not always be true. And one of those things that one ladies who have answered a question for me, and I thought it was very, very great. It was a very, very great question, and so I want to pose this to everyone out there as well. So one of the questions that she asked was, is it possible to grow long hair underneath a wig? And is it possible to grow long hair underneath a wig? And I'm going to furthermore move that question and ask, is it possible to grow long hair, period, underneath a protective style? I talked about before how a protective style is basically you literally protecting your hair underneath a particular style without you actually manipulating your hair per se, but you're actually using some type of extended hair to keep your hair covered for extended period of time up until your next style. So your protective styles, wigs, and I'm going to talk about, basically when I talk about wigs, the general common wig, which is the lace frontals, your half wigs, your headband wigs that are new now, but all of those are protector styles. So is it possible to grow long hair underneath these styles? And if you don't know, protective styles have great benefit, and is the great go-to for any woman really that wants to retain length. So it's a beautiful thing. They are beneficial, and I'm going to say yes. It is possible to grow long hair underneath the protector style, and hence is the reason for why I have also, grown my long hair protector styling. So there is benefit, but it is there's pros and cons to protective styling. And if you're gonna grow long hair underneath the wig, there's always the cons with it that might not work for you, with specific maintenance in between. So it's yes, your hair can grow long underneath protector styles, but with an extensive or intensive strict regimen that you combine with it. So for example, I'm going to use something that we talked about going up through high school, middle school. If you've had a PE course, if you've been with a fitness trainer, if you've been into any part of physical training, you will know something called the F.I.T.T principle. The F.I.T.T principle, F-I-T-T, literally stands for the acronym frequency, intensity, time, and type. And I like to apply this principle to a lot of literal applications in our life where work needs to happen in order to see a specific goal. So F.I.T.T principle applies to hair in this way. So you're literally training your hair for a purpose, and in this case to retain length underneath your protector style. So when you have a protector style, the first thing we want to talk about is frequency. How often are you literally leaving your wig on or protector style in without properly moisturizing, stimulating your scalp? And that can be, when I mean stimulating your scalp, massaging or increasing that circulation flow to your scalp. How often are you cleansing? How often are you detangling? How often are you protective styling and manipulating that hair, or properly covering your hair, or doing a proper braid pattern on your hair between these styles? So if you have a wig on, are you underneath these protector styles? Are you literally taking the time to maintain your hair, not just always just slicking it back into a ponytail and putting that wig on? Are you literally taking the time to actually braid your hair down, moisturizing that hair before you braid that hair down, making sure that you cleanse that scalp before you braid that hair down, making sure you oil your scalp in between the braids, making sure that you cover your hair with a but a stocking cap or some type of protective layer before you putting that wig on, because if not, you can increase friction or erosion just by the friction of that wig, the wig underlayer material to your hair. So are you literally taking time to do those things? Even with your protector styles, there's the new there's a fast-paced method of crochet, for example. Are you literally taking your hair, pulling it back in the ponytail, and putting crochets on that hair, and not literally taking time to create a beautiful braid pattern? It don't have to be nothing spectacular, but taking time to put that hair down on base before you actually going through and just putting that weave on. Some things are just a no-no you have to avoid, because you ultimately don't want to lead yourself into bigger trouble and harsher damages to your hair than necessary. The next principle is intensity. So intensity is absolutely like the force and exertion that you put on the object. So your object in this case is your hair. So how much stress and tension or pull are you exerting on your hair in between when your hair has been covered or protected? And so I have so many notes here because this was good to me. But I want to say this, your hair doesn't have to be tight to look good. A lot of people assume that the tighter, the more laid, the more sleek it is, the better it is, the more longer lasting it is, and all these other things. It may last longer because literally your hair is just, everything is pulled up under whatever it is pulled upon. But how much trouble are you going to face down the road after long terms of time of doing this repetitively? So you want it to be, you want your hair when it's underneath a protector style to be covered. You want it to be protected, but you don't want it to be so tight to where you got a whole nother face shape after you're done with your style, or you just over pulling to where you're having those your follicles are literally raised with bacteria, and they're pulled. You have bumps, you have redness, the inflammation, that's just screaming it is too tight. Is the cap that you're using too small? Because some people don't know, but there's cap sizes that you can buy underneath your wigs that can range. And if you have a small head shape, you can get away with some things. But if you have a bigger head shape, you're not going to do so well with the small cap size, because you're literally pulling circulation and blood flow from where it needs to be reaching. So watch your cap size. Are the clips that you're using when you're under the wigs, are they snagging? Are the bobby pins that you're using, are they poking? Is the elastic or the material that you're using, is it tight, or is it pulling in any way? Sometimes the wigs come with these elastic bands on the inside that you can adjust. Is it too tight? Unloosen it a little bit. Are your braids, or is the ponytail that you're literally putting up under that, and the headband or the cotton band or holder that you used around it, is it too tight? All those things make a difference. If you're going to use a ponytail holder, use elastic. Don't use cotton or any other rubber material underneath, because you're just doing further damage. And if you're going to use something like rubber bands or something, because there is something like a rubber band method, be sure to oil those rubber bands properly, or get them sleek enough to where you can use them and they won't cause too much damage, because that hair can get trapped and rolled around that band and pull your hair. So all of this, if you don't do it right, intensity, and if it's too tight, if too much tension, you're going to lead to something called traction alopecia, and which ultimately leads to permanent hair loss. So we want to avoid that. The third FIT principle is time. So how long are you covering your head with a wig or a protective style without proper maintenancing your hair in between? So are you allowing your hair or scalp time or your follicles time to just breathe? Sometimes some women, we like to hold on to our styles because they look good. And that's fine and dandy if you can maintain it in between. But if you have a sew-in that's been in for God knows when, you might be harboring some things under there that you don't necessarily want. And so you may have to make sure that you stick to the proper times and recommended uses that your stylist or styles or recommended maximum recommendation. My personal general rule of thumb is this, and this is just me, and everyone else varies by this, but going through school and learning some things for myself, I see how there's potential dangers when you don't take them out when you're supposed to. But if you properly maintenance, it can be fine. So for long-term protective styles, I usually stick to my styles for a period of 6 to 8 weeks. And then after I take those styles down, I do my proper cleansing and regimen, and my hair's down for at least 1 to 2 weeks. This is my second week with my hair down, and I'm ready for it to be up because I'm tired of maintaining it. But I'm giving my hair time to do what it needs to do. So long-term protective styles, that's box braids, that's crochets, that's anything that's going to be that you can wear up to some weeks or month. Definitely, give yourself 6 to 8 weeks, and then after that, 1 to 2 weeks to give your hair some free time. Then for like braids, for example, because I know that if you get your braids done and they're properly maintenance, you can wear those up to 12 weeks, which is not bad actually. And then after that, do give yourself again 1 to 2 weeks free time after that, sometimes 3 if you really feeling it. Now, if you're a low maintenance stylist or performance and you don't like doing anything to your hair, you know why your hair is out of that protector style, you're not doing anything with it, then give yourself some days. But try your best to stay on top of it, so that you can see your length retention that you want. Wigs, I take them down nightly, daily, on the daily, nightly, whatever you want to call it. But your under braid pattern, underneath that braid, can be worn for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And then you're going to take that physical wig off. Please take the physical wig off. Do not sleep in it. It's not meant for sleeping. It's meant to be worn and styled. Take that off nightly and daily. And making sure that in between that you're oiling that scalp and making sure you're putting that proper maintenance on that hair. And don't just let it go. Don't let it go. And then lace fronts, I have not personally worn a lace front. I don't have much experience with the lace front. But my recommended use is to not wear those for a prolonged period of time. I've heard most people say they last up to 48 hours, and that's because of the glues and the adhesives that's used. But I don't recommend using those for a long periods of time because in trichotology, Lord have mercy, I don't even know the name specifically, but these are actually literal scientific specialists who have seen different things that can grow on the hair and underneath the hair and from the hair from certain styles that it has been worn and certain things that can develop on the hair. And one of those things lace fronts is a potential for is bacterial, fungal, and viral viruses or bacterias or growths that can actually latch and attach to the adhesives and the glues that's used on these products, so up on these lace fronts. So you need to make sure that once you take these down, that you properly sterilize, maintain, clean the way it's supposed to be clean before you actually reattach these things, because you are bonding these actually to your skin, and sometimes these actually bond to the edges of your hair. I have seen it, so you don't want that. You don't want that growth that's going there. And then lastly but not least, I hope I'm keeping up on my 10-minute mark, but type principle. So type principle is actually being conscious and ultimately aware of what protector styles you choose. So because it's various, and the reason why I say this, because certain styles, every protective style is not everybody's friendly, and you got to know that in everything that you do is ultimately a protective style. But there are always cons to it if you do them properly. So you have to be aware of the pros, of the negatives that comes with every protective style that you use. You have to weigh it and say, okay, this is what's best for me, this is not what's best for me, because ultimately certain styles are not for everyone. So know the degrees of stress that each protective style can potentially put on your hair. Know that type of protective style, and learn your curl pattern or curl configuration. Some people call it hair type. This is the new term being developed in the natural hair community, hair type. But I call it coil pattern and curl configuration. That's a professional term. And all it is that you basically need to know what type of hair that you are dealing with, and knowing this actually helps you to determine what is the best style that fits you and fits and is most suitable for your hair, because not every protective style, again, is not appropriate for you. For example, a fine-haired person or someone who doesn't have many thick follicles, you are going to see that that hair does not necessarily thrive well with thick, large, for example, box braids. They're going to experience more shedding. They're going to experience more breakage, because their hair is not really meant for that tough style, for example. I guess that's what I'm trying to say in so many words. Whereas coarse hair can really maintain and withstand a lot of those harsh treatment that's being done to the hair. So know your hair type, and that, you know what, that might lead to my next potential question. I don't know, but I will post it, and you guys comment and let me know what you think about that. So that'll come up soon. But anyways, I'm going to shorten this video. I love you all. You all stay you know what, stay happy. Y'all have been such a blessing to me. So much support. I love your questions. I love your feedback. And I thank you all for just being supportive in so many ways. You have no idea. Sorry, that's my alarm to get back to class. But keep your joy. Keep your happiness. Don't let nobody steal it. Know your worth. Know your purpose. And know that God has a plan for your life, because you're still here. Y'all have a blessed day today. Mwah. Love you. Oh, I forgot to. And if you haven't already, do join my Facebook page at Naturally Gifted Hands, and my Instagram, which is it's over there, but it's at Naturally Gifted Bree. Join that to keep posted and to see any new product ads or marketing ads that might come up. Because I didn't mention, but I do have limited quantities of products that I will be formulating. So once that is accessible, and once it's gone, and I'm depending on that revenue to make more. So definitely keep in the loop and stay tuned, you ladies. And I do have your names, and I do have all of your names already in my pre-orders. I got you. Don't worry about it. Y'all have a blessed day today. Have a good one. Bye.